Hello, my friend. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Jaden, and this is PathTune, where we are charting a course towards the shores of your highest potential. This is all about tuning your personal vibration, your frequency, to that of your highest and best life path, so that you may walk that path to your highest timeline. If that kind of thing interests you, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel and join us as we embark on this journey of our own self-discovery. In this video, we are going to be exploring the idea and expanding on the topic of a few different things, one of which, keeping promises to yourself, following through with your commitments, building momentum. Let's write this out. Hello. We're saying today's big ideas. As I'm recording this, what is the date? It is the 12th. It is the 12th of April. Trusting yourself, building momentum, learning by doing. Doing what you say you are going to do. That is related to trusting yourself, but it's also personal integrity / congruence. That is thoughts, words, and actions all being in congruence. And then we also are going to say, can you tell I'm making this up as I go? There's a reason, though. There is a spark of inspiration, and I will share that. We're going to say creativity / flow / non-attachment / perfectionism, and then we'll say authenticity. Yeah, I think that's good. I think those are some good ideas for this video. Oh, I'm just glad you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you found yourself on this video, then trust that there is a reason you're here. And my intention with this video is to give you ideas and a perspective that can assist in you walking your highest life path, in you evolving yourself, in expanding your mind and your awareness and your perspective, so that you can align with that higher version of yourself, so that you can step in to the next chapter where you create more abundantly, you step into your abundance, you flow with your own inner guidance, and you let your light shine, you let your creativity shine. So this is a combination of my mind's reflection on a recent experience, but also channeling a message from my higher self, from your higher self as well, through me to you. And always just remember, take what connects for you, leave what does not. And keep in mind that all it takes is one idea to shift your perspective, to get you operating in a new way. And that new perspective, that evolved higher perspective, can make all the difference in how you move through and respond to life moving forward. And it's not about what happens. It's all about what you do with what happens that makes all the difference. And what determines what you do is based on how you choose to look at any given situation, any event that happens. The power lies within you, within your mind. In a previous video, I called that the magic wand of your mind, your perspective. It's a great tool. It's a powerful tool, often underestimated because paradoxically and ironically, we don't value the things that we were given for free as much. But the paradox is nearly everything that we pay money for can be easily replaced. But the things that we got for free, that were given to us for nothing, can never be replaced. Our bodies, our hopes, our dreams, our love of family, of country and friends, our passions and desires, our dreams, our interests, all of these priceless possessions came to us free. But they are one of the most valuable parts of our lives and our time. And time is a paradox as well, because on one end we have all the time in the world because the time is the present moment. But then on the other end, we experience this reality through as if we're traveling through linear time. That is, time gives us the ability to have this experience where one thing happens, then the next thing happens, then the next thing happens, and our brain can create a sense of continuity, which is a hallmark experience of this 3D world, of this human experience. But have you ever noticed how time distorts and shifts? And what I've noticed is as you continue to expand and raise your frequency, you actually your perception of time begins to pick up. Time responds to you more. Have you noticed that? Where if maybe you're really locked into something, you can stretch out a moment and make it last a lot longer, but also at the same time, from the reverse, if you're really locked into something, a whole day might fly by in the instance. If you're not looking at the clock, then time may feel like it's flying by. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're aging. Then this is just a perspective, this is just an idea. But from what I've seen, the more the people, the person, the individual is operating with joy and passion, as if a child would. They're laughing, they're playing. Although they may be moving through time faster, they're actually aging slower. So the people that are most connected with their inner child, you'll notice there's a youthful essence to them. They look younger than they actually are. I think there's something to that. Something to that. So if you want to age gracefully and keep that youthful essence, stay connected and make the intention to reconnect to your inner child. And play with life more. Have more fun. Feel good. Make the intention to feel good. If you aren't feeling good, begin to work toward how to feel good. Make that a goal, to start feeling good. Dancing with it, flowing. It's a dance, not a race. I'm in a state of grace. So this is all stemming from me completing the 30-day challenge. And I just realized today that I completed it. I think I'm actually on day 35 or 36. I don't even know, but I know that I've posted, I think, 24 videos. And I have more than 6 videos in the bank. This might be number 30. This might be 31. I don't know. But I haven't counted it exactly, but I feel that I have completed the challenge. So I did it! Pat on the back. Good job, dude. It wasn't that hard. It just took me committing to showing up every day. And if you watch all the other videos, there's actually a playlist on the channel for the 30-day challenge. And what that was me committing to recording a video every day. And I want to reflect on that experience and share a little bit about what I've learned about myself and about the process of creating through this experience. And what these things that I just wrote down are kind of some big bullet points about my takeaways. Overall, I would say I highly suggest doing something like this. If you can push yourself, it's the stretch goal, right? It's something you know you could do if you applied yourself, but it is a challenge. That's why it's called the 30-day challenge. Because it's not about what you are going to get out of the challenge. It's about what it will make of you. That's the purpose. And I did a video on the stretch goal idea, and it's called setting a goal that's right for you, or how to find a goal that's right for you, something like that, where we talk about there's a continuum. This is easy, this is hard. You want to pick something that's a little bit in the middle, maybe a little bit higher, but you don't want to pick something too hard or too easy. Just right. And this is an edit, as I'm not really editing these videos, but I think I said that came from Little Red Riding Hood, and it's not Little Red Riding Hood. I realized that. And I can't even think about it right now. I can't even remember. What is it? You'll have to put in the comments, and I'll be like, oh, but what fairy tale story am I talking about where it's like the bear is in the house and the little girl walks in and she tries the porridge, and this one's too cold, this one's too hot, this one's just right. Let me know in the comments what fairy tale that is. In the last video I said, or in that stretch goal video, I said Little Red Riding Hood, and so I was wrong. But let me know down below. So, what's my reflection on this experience? What are the takeaways? And why does it matter to you? Well, You're a creator. You are creating your future. You are creating your reality. Your perception of reality is entirely created in your mind, in your perspective. And then you also have the act of creating for the sake of creating, like art or music. And some people may create the music to get it listened and get it viewed, create the videos for view, create the art for people to look at it. But the real legends and the successful artists of humanity didn't create from a place of trying to please somebody else's expectations. They created from a place of joy and passion. And maybe it didn't always come from joy, maybe it came from pain. But it was a pure, raw expression of themselves. And it wasn't to get anything out of the end result of the art. It was for the sake of the expression. That's what being a creator is to create for the sake of creating. And when you can have let go of attachments to the outcome of what and where your creation will go and how many views it will get and who will listen to it and will they like it? Should I try to make it a certain way so it'll be liked? That's where we get tripped up and caught up in our own minds, because then we start creating from a place of expectation and trying to control the outcome. Whereas if you, oftentimes the most successful works of art that are enjoyed by the most people and create the biggest impact on people's lives are coming from a place of non-attachment to the outcome when the creator is creating it. They're just creating it because they are expressing their creativity. They are flowing with the essence that is calling them and that is aching to be released. And they're channeling that creative energy. And that may be a healing process for them. Creating it's a way of, just like working out can help with stress and it can be a release of energy. Creating is an expression of energy. So there is a reconnection with yourself and a joy that gets created. And so that, if I were to reflect on this, one of the biggest things that this has done for me has reconnected me with my joy for making videos. And not only just my joy for videos, but my joy for expressing my voice and my mind in the realm of personal growth and the journey of oneself and the evolution of our being. It's such a, like, this journey of life is so amazing to me that we have this privilege and this opportunity to live such a rich, dynamic life, and that we have the minds to be able to perceive so much more than just what our senses bring in. Our minds are so powerful to come up to conceptualize and wrap around different theories and ways of looking at things, and how you can look at multiple different perspectives and choose to look from different angles and through different filters of archetypes. And if you watch my other videos, you know what I'm talking about. But the mind is truly a remarkable organ system. The brain is remarkable, but the mind, we did a video talking about the mind and brain difference and the consciousness, how that's right. So I'm using these terms interchangeably, but it's all one cohesive system. It's all working together. But through this experience, it has I've noticed I actually started to develop the habit of, like, every night I'm just, once it's dark, all right, that means I'm turning on the camera, turning on the lights, turning on the computer, opening up the applications, and I'm going. So I can sit down and start recording in about 2 minutes. I've gotten it down to where I just flip it up, bang, 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 up, boom, 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 boom. Power strip, boom, good. Granted, I could systemize this a little bit more so it's all connected to one, and I just go bung. But we are where we're at, and I've noticed that I'm not thinking about it as much. It's just like, all right, I'm doing it again because I've been doing it for 30 days. So I actually feel that neural pathway it has been created. And you know, they say it takes at least 21 days to build a habit, but 30 days is really more ideal. And I've noticed that the habit actually did start to get built. And how you know the habit is built is you don't have to try as hard. It's more of an automatic body response. So that's what I mean, is like I've noticed that just doing it and recording it, and even if I don't know exactly what it's going to be about, like, you're still going to figure it out. Maybe we're going to spend 5 minutes beforehand writing down some ideas and notes, pulling from my master list, or pulling from some inspiration around, or taking some deep breaths and sitting with myself for a minute and seeing what comes through in terms of what I would like to speak about or explore today with you. So on that end, just committing to a 30-day challenge of anything is going to create a default pathway, a more trodden path within your mind, and it will become easier to do it more consistently. And our timelines are determined largely by our habits. It's our frequency too, but our actions and our being, our frequency, our vibration are intimately interlinked, because our frequency and our thoughts and our beliefs affect our actions. In a future video, I'm going to go touch on Joe Dispenza talks about the loop, the feeling, action, thought loop, and how they all feed into each other. That's a really great idea. But anything that you commit yourself to 30 days is going to be easier to do and more comfortable for you to do by the end of the 30 days. That's a huge takeaway. So whatever it is, whatever you want to start doing more in your life, or whatever you know that for your best good, and you don't need to say, I should be doing this, because then that creates a sense of guilt around it. You don't have to be doing anything. You can just coast if you want to, but if you want to get further, or if you want to elevate to a more preferable circumstance, that's where we say to ourselves, I should be doing this, because you know that you want to be in there's no better right or wrong. It's you want to be in a different situation or a different circumstance. So that's why you say, or my ego says, I should be doing this. But then if you're constantly saying I should be doing that and then not showing up and not doing it, now you're creating a dissonance between, oh, I know what I should be doing, but I'm consistently not doing what I say I should be doing. So therefore, I don't make the actions, I don't make decisions that are in coherence with my highest and best good. And that could be a subconscious loop that plays out where that's my tendency, is even though I know what I should be doing, I'm consistently choosing not to do it. So once you continue to do that for 30 days or more, then that's just your default program you start running. So to break out of that, you got to set yourself that stretch goal and push and commit. Just like if you're on a skateboard and you're going down the ramp into going down the quarter pipe into the bowl, in order to do that successfully, you have to slam down on the nose. And in order to slam down on that nose, Should I just draw this for you? It'd probably be better. So there's a quarter pipe, and you're up here. You're on the skateboard. And in order to get down there, you need to commit. Is that how you spell commit? I always get confused if it's double M or double T. You have to commit. So you need to push down on the nose and basically free fall forward. But if you don't commit and really put the force down to slam down on the front of that skateboard, then you'll end up sliding and falling down, and the board will kick out from under you. You won't stay on top of the board. So you need to commit in order to fully go all in, to project and push your entire body forward to stay on top of the board. Then you'll end up riding the board safely, continuing on. Why am I doing this backwards? All right. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense? But it takes that commitment. So, like Jim Rohn says, we don't set a goal for what we're going to get. We set a goal for what it will make of you. That's the real value. Because the real value in life is not what we get. It is who you become. That's the real value. Because once you do it and you become the type of person that can do it, now you can do it again. But if you just get handed the money, but you didn't build the skills and the mindset and the beliefs and the habits that generate wealth in the material sense, then you'll lose the money and you won't be able to get it back because you never became the person that can generate that level of income. So the real value is what you become through the process, and that is why you set stretch goals that push you to become something more than you currently are. So what this 30-day challenge did for me is it pushed me out of my comfort zone to start creating consistently. And in previous times, I would delay and procrastinate and avoid, and maybe I'd record something but then not post it, or the editing would get in the way, and so I would start to get perfectionistic. So that's where the perfectionism starts to impede upon your progress, because it could always be better, and I could always deliver it better, and it could look better, and I could have came across better. So because I'm looking at that perfectionism through that perfectionism lens, one way to look at it is just looking at all the flaws in it. That's one definition of perfectionism, is just finding all the flaws in something. So part of this 30-day challenge was accepting imperfection. Because I accepted that it's not about it being perfect or it looking 100% how I want it to look, or me coming across flawlessly. It's about doing. It was all about doing the 30-day challenge. That was the only goal. Just completing the 30-day challenge. It's not about how many followers you get, how many views you get. It's about you showing up. Showing up for yourself. So what this 30-day challenge is creating a habit. Creating a habit of showing up for yourself. And that is a powerful thing to do, my friend. So whatever it may be, whatever is calling you to create, whether it is a YouTube channel or videos or social media videos, or you want to write a book, or you want to record that talk, record that message, you want to create that music or that experience for people, that event, that painting, that drawing, that digital masterpiece. Whatever it may be, if you are coming from a creative standpoint of you want to create something, a sound design something, like whatever it is for you, maybe it's not labeled as typical creativity art. Maybe it's a business. Maybe it is a better future. Maybe it is a more evolved, more congruent body, mind, and soul all moving in the same direction version of yourself. Maybe it's a sense of more peace and ease in your life and in the life of your family and in your relationships. Maybe it's a higher quality connection and with your relationships. Whatever it may be that you're looking to channel your own power, your own essence of creativity as the creator that you are within. And we are, when you start to use that and not just let it go to waste, when we get caught on the consume hamster wheel, have you ever noticed when you continue to consume and scroll that it actually drains energy from you? I've felt that. And it's so addictive, and they've perfected the mechanism of this device where and the apps where it is just appealing to our biological nature as well. It's like it's beyond your conscious control on some levels. And so you're going to the next thing, and it's like every time you keep going, even though you have the thought, I should probably stop, but I'm going to keep going. It's like you notice that it's draining your energy. And not always, like a little bit here and there. You'll get some great ideas. There's value on social media for sure, and that those ideas that you get can really positively influence your life. So I'm not saying to just completely disconnect from the internet, but I'm saying notice if it's draining your energy. And if you have had that experience where it's draining your energy, paradoxically, when we start to create, which is the opposite of continuously consuming, when we get on a cycle of creation, you may notice, at least I've noticed through my experience, that it gives me energy. This process of creation is fueling and energizing. And I think it's because it's connecting, one of the reasons is because it's connecting with our own true nature. And when we get reconnected with ourselves, like we are a multidimensional energetic being, which has the power to move mountains with our belief. So, of course, when we let our light shine through, we are a powerhouse. You are a lighthouse. You are a sun. So, of course, when you start to let that flow happen, and when you tune into your own creativity and you begin to express it, you're allowing that channel to flow instead of damming it up with the consuming cycle. And then also the stuck cycle of not taking action and overanalyzing and then feeling stuck and then getting confused and then lack of clarity and then continuing with that cycle. And we'll go into more videos on that. And I'm actually developing a protocol, a system, an easy to follow step-by-step walkthrough on how to break that stuck cycle so that you can begin creating consistently, which is very valuable from an art standpoint or just from a creating a better life situation or better future for yourself. But in order to do that, you have to break the cycle and build momentum. So one of the other biggest values of doing this has built momentum, because every time I create and I let that channel flow, I'm reconnecting with myself and my more true nature, which is energizing to do. And every time that you show up for yourself and you did what you say you were going to do, you kept the promise to yourself, you are reaffirming to your subconscious mind that you are the type of person that does what they say they're going to do. And so as you continue to keep those, and they can be small commitments. That's how you build momentum, is you start small. Don't do a 30-day challenge of something that is not within this realm of possibility. Don't set the goal too high or too hard. And this is easy, right? I talked about that on another video. Set it in the middle. Make it attainable, but make it stretch a little bit. Make it you push yourself a little bit. And when you push yourself, you develop more higher self-esteem. Because one of the ways we build self-esteem from a psychological standpoint is accomplishing difficult tasks. Difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. Difficult doesn't mean that you can't do it. Difficult means that it's challenging. We build self-esteem through accomplishing challenging tasks. One of the ways. Whoa, just hit my nose on that. So it's setting it small enough to where you know that if you apply yourself, you can do it. Now you don't need to worry about how you're going to do it. You just need to you need to focus on showing up. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, is just put your focus into showing up for yourself. Maybe you've had a habit in the past of not showing up for yourself, and that's created this cycle and this feeling of being lost or stuck. You got to build momentum, my friend. And how you do that is set a challenge for yourself. Set yourself a goal that's a little bit of a stretch to complete, but you know that if you do it, you will be it will make you a better version of yourself through the process of reaching that goal. And I'm going to say it again. Make it so that it's attainable. Like, don't start off with something that is completely way out left field. Like, you need to be able to visualize yourself actually doing it. So for me, I had this setup with my video already up when I decided to do the 30-day challenge. Like, this camera was already there on the tripod. So I have been preparing and getting the environment situated. The light was already here, clamped to this table. And that light was already there, clamped to the freaking microwave handle. I'm working with what I have. But when I decided to do the 30-day challenge, it was after this 3-day virtual event, which was for like a more of a business perspective, but there was personal development weaved in with that. And the leader of the event mentioned that she had done a 30-day video challenge before. And she didn't really speak too much about it. She just mentioned it in passing. And then something within my soul, within my being, resonated so deeply with that to when I heard it, I was like, I'm going to do that. I already knew I was going to do it the moment I heard it. And then I let that simmer for a day or two. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, I took the inspired action. Watch that first video. The path starts here. I decided to sit down and record the video. No, you know what I did is the first step I took was, I want to know what I'm going to say. So when I was driving and I started to think about it, I had all the thoughts coming in. Like I had all the ideas of what I wanted to say. So then I'm like, well, I may as well just document this now. And maybe I'll post the recording, but maybe not. But I'm just like, all the ideas are flowing now and may as well document it. So as I was driving, I started to just record with my voice memos on my phone, that stream of consciousness. And so it was like a 17, 18 minute recording of me basically saying what I wanted to say on that first video. But I didn't put any expectations on it. I didn't put any pressure on myself for it to be anyway, because I was not going to actually post it. So it was just, I mean, if it was good enough, maybe I was going to consider it, but I didn't create with the intention to post it. So then that allowed myself to be relaxed and comfortable with it. So then it flowed. So then the ideas could come through. So then what I did is I listened to that recording when I was feeling like, okay, I want to record the video. You know, I just tune into myself, and if I'm feeling pulled towards like, hey, let's do it. Let's record the video. Let's record that first video. I hadn't even decided on doing the 30-day challenge yet, but that idea was planted, that seed was planted in my head. And so then what I did is I listened to that recording, and I listened to it. So I spent 20 minutes re-listening to it, and then I wrote out on a notebook the different points that I wanted to make in the video. So now I had a plan. I had a guide to follow. So then I think it was the same, that same night after I had written it out, I decided to let go of the fear of it being good enough. Let go of the fear of judgment. Finally, just let it go. People are going to judge me anyway. It's accepting that you will be misunderstood. It's just fully saying, F it. But I didn't abbreviate that. I'm just going for it. We're sending it. We're committing. Just like that's what you got to do when you're at the top of the quarter pipe. You just got to go for it. You can't get all up in the head and keep thinking about it and keep thinking about it and keep thinking about it. At some point, you need to just go and move and jump and commit. That's how you do it. So that's what I did, and the idea of answering the call to adventure or refusing the call with that dramatized sense of the hero's journey all mixed up in it, that I love that. So I used that as fuel to fuel my emotions, and I said, you know what? I'm answering the call. I'm answering the call from my higher self to my better future. I've procrastinated long enough. I've been feeling that it's time for a long time. On my whiteboard over there, I have written, the whole thing's covered in my notes. And one of the things that I kept noticing was a note that I wrote, buddy, comma. It was this note. Buddy. It's time. That's on my whiteboard right now. And sometimes I'll see that. And so I've known it's been time for like 6 months to a year. But it took me 6 months to a year to finally get to the point of just saying, you know what? I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna jump. And what allowed me to do that was the structure of that 30-day challenge. Because that gamified it a little bit. That took the pressure off, because it can't be perfect if you're doing 30 videos in 30 days, dude. Like, that is impossible for it to be perfect. So it basically, putting those constraints and putting that challenge created the opportunity to let go of perfectionism, because it was clearly not possible for perfectionism to work. So it allowed my desire for perfectionism to dissolve because it was obvious that it was not compatible with that challenge. So then once that dissolved, where it's like, okay, well, it's not about making the best videos possible. It's about just completing the 30-day challenge for the sake of completing the challenge and doing what I say I'm going to do and challenging myself and following through and proving to myself that I can commit myself to doing something if I apply myself. And then we'll see what happens along the way. There's a 30-day challenge I was talking about. Yeah. So, and then I also had that idea in my mind of learning by doing. It's learning by doing. That's how we get the most experience, is by trying and failing, but it's never a fail if you continue to try. The only failure is when you don't try or when you give up and you stop trying. Every step along the path, even if you step into a puddle of mud, now you know the puddle of mud's there. Now you know next time you can go this path, you can take this route, you can wear these shoes. But you have to go through it in order to get the practical hands-on experience, in order to more integrate the learning experience within you. You can learn the topics and the concepts all you want and the information and study with the mind, but all that info is just up in the mental sphere. It's not grounded to the physical. And you ground it to the physical experience through you doing and trying it out and seeing what happens. So that is how you grow. That is how you learn, is by doing it. That's one of the best ways to grow and learn. And it's the faster path, because you get real-time feedback from every time you try, every action you do, every video I created. I started to refine my message, my intro, I'm still doing it with every video, and I'm trying new things, and I'm willing to shift it up. Like in this video, I started it just with the frequency clear. Different. But it's still because I don't have an expectation of trying to craft these videos any particular way to try to get more views. Like, sure, I want to get more views, so I'm conscious about trying to structure it and give you the topics up front and etc. Like I'm creating some structure to this, but it's not about me chasing the views. It's about me stepping into my authentic creative nature and letting it flow and being myself and letting that light shine and letting the song be heard. And I know that if I do that in resonance and in alignment with my heart and my soul and my passions and my joys, that it will work out. And this is leading me to where I want to go. So these videos are steps along my journey, and I'm treating them as such, not like I'm going to get $1 million out of one of these videos. Every video I make is a step towards my better future. Because I'm pushing myself, I'm expanding my mind, even through exploring these topics and being able to teach them and share them with you. That's helping me be a better communicator, helping me be a better guide. You know what I mean? So doing that 30-day challenge is showing up for yourself, making that commitment to yourself, and by doing it, making it in a way where it's attainable, but it still pushes you, that gives you the opportunity to show up for yourself and keep that promise to yourself. And every promise, every promise you make to yourself that you keep, you start to rewire your brain. You start to imprint your subconscious with, I'm the type of person that keeps promises to myself. I'm the type of person that does what I say I'm going to do. But if you have broken promises to yourself in the past, which I have many times, it can be your subconscious is not in alignment with what you want to be, because your past has programmed it to be that you operate a different way. So in order to change the programming of the subconscious, you need to start small, like I said, and build that momentum. So that's the biggest win of doing a small, achievable goal, but it still needs to push you because you need to feel good about yourself for trying and pushing through the challenge. If it's too easy, you won't feel like you accomplished very much because it was such a shallow goal. Do you see what I mean? How you need to find that middle ground to where it's not too easy, it's not too hard, it's just right. It pushes you and it will make something of you. And when you show up for the sake of completing the challenge, that's all you need to focus on. Just complete the challenge. Just show up for yourself. Don't worry about how it's coming across, what's going to happen. You will figure that out when you're doing it, right? Once you are there showing up, now you can focus on how am I going to show up. But you're already showing up when you're there. So you just need to show up to the meeting with yourself. That's the only thing you need to focus on in this challenge. And then once you're there in the meeting with yourself, maybe you give yourself 5 minutes. You get there 5 minutes early and you map out a couple points. That's what I've done. Sometimes I've shown up direct on the dot on time, or maybe even a little bit late, and I'm just looking around like, what am I going to talk about? Well, I trust that I will find something. And I have. And if nothing comes right away, then maybe I do need to look up something or look into my phone notes of ideas and then see what calls to me. And that takes, 5 minutes? So that figuring it out, and then maybe I might write, I get the idea. I want to say it like this, or I want to try doing this. You figure that out in the moment when you're doing it. And then you watch it back and you replay it. It's like, okay, on the next video, I want to try this. So that's what I mean by you learn by doing, is you then review and you look at it, what you did, and you reflect on it. What could I do better? That's all part of that process, but that's how you grow through it. You following me? Makes sense? So you're learning by doing, you're building momentum. It helps when it's a small thing, but it's also a stretch goal. But that's just such a huge value, is building that momentum. Because then once you build momentum, now you have started to reprogram your subconscious that you are now the type of person that does what they say they're going to do, and that I keep promises to myself. So now on the next one, it can be a little bit of a bigger stretch goal, because now you have grown to rise to meet yourself on a higher level. You have now growth through that process. So now the next goal can be a little bit higher, can be a little bit more challenging. And it's not that life gets easier, you get better. You get more skillful. And then you begin to develop more trust in yourself, because you start to show up for yourself more consistently. You're reprogramming the belief that you do what you say you're going to do, and once that belief gets more ingrained in your subconscious, now you trust yourself to show up. You may not know exactly what and how you're going to make it happen, but you know that you're going to show up for yourself. So that's one of the biggest values of the 30-day challenge, is just showing up for myself and knowing that if I commit to something and I say I'm going to do something, that I'm going to do it. And that's something that I used to not do. Like, I used to struggle with breaking promises to myself. But then I decided that I wanted to be the type of person that does what they say they're going to do. And so over time, I've slowly started to build up that skill, and it starts with the small things. But one of the biggest things is, don't say it out loud if you're not going to commit to it. Don't even say it. If you're unsure about it, if you're unsure about actually doing it, then don't say it. That helps keep that congruence. And that in personal integrity of your thoughts, words, and actions. If you focus on not just setting the goal and doing some sort of 30-day challenge, but making sure that the things you actually say and think about and the words and then what you do with those are all going in the same direction. They're all in congruence. They're in alignment with each other. Building that scenario, that situation, that environment within, that is creating that personal integrity and congruence within yourself. And that allows you to trust yourself. So by not saying it out loud, if you're not sure you're actually going to do it, then by not speaking that out loud, you are showing that congruence. Because you're not allowing yourself to say something and affirm something to your subconscious, because your subconscious hears everything you say. So you're not going to allow yourself to give something false to yourself, to say something false, to lie to yourself. That's that personal integrity. You're not allowing yourself to lie to yourself anymore. Just don't say anything. Don't say something that's not true. That's part of it. That's like half of it. And then the other part is setting those small wins and then choosing to say it for the small one. Now, when you show up for the small thing, you're building small wins, building momentum, rewiring, creating new beliefs about yourself, creating congruence with your thoughts, words, and actions. Very good, very good. Lastly, we talked about the non-attachment. We talked about perfectionism, creativity, flow, and authenticity. Oftentimes, from what I've learned as I've been studying creativity more intentionally over the past 2 years, there's a lot to look at when it comes to creativity. But one of the biggest things that I've learned is that oftentimes our creativity flourishes when we have a constraint. Because when it's left boundless, unstructured, it's a little overwhelming. There's too many options. There's too many possibilities of how to do it, what to do, where to do it, when to do it, why to do it. So by giving yourself guidelines, a structure to follow, and not that you have to follow it exactly like a script, but you have to work parameters is the word I'm looking for. By giving yourself parameters, now you need to find a way to create within these parameters. And that is when creativity flourishes, because now we have limited constraints of what to work with. So it pulls creativity out of you in order to make it happen. That's where creativity flourishes, because creativity is thinking outside of the box. It's thinking out here in order to operate within. That's what creativity is. It's using innovative solutions to solve problems and challenges. And flow and express energy in ways of creation, and in channeling non-physical ideas into the physical world. Manifesting is creativity, is creation. So by consistently creating and by having that 30-day challenge, it actually created those constraints to where on one hand, I could create an entire short film and spend a year working on it, and that could be one of my videos. Is like I could create a cinematic sequence, and I could build characters, and I could hire some actors, and I could do some location scouts, and that could take me forever, because there's no constraints. Like there's no time limit. It's just an idea, and so I could continue working on that idea forever. But because I gave myself a time limit, a constraint of a 30-day challenge, you're 24-hour, every day reset, dude. Every day reset. Do it again. Do it again. That created constraints, and then I had to figure out how to even be creative to manage my schedule to show up. Like that required creativity on, okay, if I'm you'll find in one of the videos, I actually did a 20-hour shift that started at midnight and then it went to the 8 p.m. the next day. And how in the world was I going to do a freaking video that day? Well, life throws you curveballs. Not everything is going to go exactly. And that was part of that lesson, is like things will happen that will take you off your path. And it's not about you missing a deadline for yourself and then, oh, I cheated today. You know, like I was supposed to be dieting, but I cheated, so I'm just going to let it all fall apart now. It's, you know what? I wasn't able to do it, so now I'm going to make up for it. And that's just completely that's what will work for me. That will satisfy the challenge requirements for my rules, for my own personal integrity. So what I did is I recorded 2 videos the day prior because I planned in advance and knew that I wasn't going to be able to do it when I was working. So I just recorded two videos the day before. That required creativity. Because I had constraints, I've had to figure out how to create innovative solutions to the problem. There's always a way. There's always a way. And you have the creative mind to find that way. And there's more than one way. But if you don't think there's a way, there's always a way. I'm telling you, there's always a way. Firm believer in that. When there's a will, there's a way. Let that be one of the main take-home messages of this video. My friend, if you think that there's no way out, if you're struggling to get through something, you don't know what to do, you're up against a challenge, I am here to tell you that there is always a way. There's always a way. And then when you start to operate in that creativity, you're letting that creativity be pulled out of you through the constraints. And because you've let go, you've started to accept imperfection, that's when you allow the flow to start to happen. Because it's not a force. A flow doesn't happen with a force. It happens with opening the floodgates. It happens with an allowance. You have to allow that to flow by letting go of attachments of the outcome, of judgment, of fears, of needing it to be a certain way. And then you can start to step into letting it flow. Letting your own authenticity start to shine through. Because I'm not worried about the judgment. Although it took me years to get to the point of just saying, all right, I'm sending it anyway. Yes, people are going to judge. That's what people do. That's part of human nature. It's what helps to let go of those things is to get more understanding about it. Because once you understand that everybody can't help but have an opinion about something. I mean, sure, they can consciously, they can not care, right? They can not have an opinion. But it is part of human nature to analyze and have a response and judge things to some degree. And not everybody is the same. People are different. And just like with frequency, your frequency may be different than my frequency. Not yours, but another person. Because if you're here, you're probably resonating with my frequency. And thanks for being here. Thanks for being tuned in, called to the video. But if I go, how can I explain this? So I've done this. I recorded this TikTok video 3 years ago about this or something. I don't know time, maybe 2. But when I sing, it's my frequency, right? So, and this is somebody else, and they're operating at their frequency. This person's frequency is the bowl at 528. If I start to resonate, I can cause a resonance in somebody else that is in a harmonic of that frequency. So if I go here, hope you can hear that. So I just made the bowl start to resonate with my own voice. And that is just because how like frequency, attracts like frequency. It causes a resonance of the same frequency or of an octave of that frequency. So just like that, if I go, it's not going to do it. Or, it's not going to do it. But, it'll do it. So the different pitches are different frequencies. And so maybe there are going to be people out there that are not, their frequency does not resonate with my frequency. That is just how it works. But there will also be other people out there that are like this bowl that will respond to your frequency. And those are the people that are meant for your message. Your message is not meant for everybody. Your message is meant for the people that are waiting to hear it, the people that it is resonant with. As everybody is a personal symphony of multi layers of frequencies, and they're all unique. Different messages will resonate with different people in different ways. That is just the way everything works. We have a diverse ecosystem going on here. So you can't please everybody, and it is naive or ignorant to think that you can or that you should. So as you gain more understanding about that concept, you start to be able to let go of feeling the need to please everybody. And then that frees you. It frees you to step into that creativity, the flow, and your authentic self. Because people want the real you. People don't want the carefully crafted, polished, filtered version of you. They want the real deal. Because then that gives them permission on a subconscious level to let their light shine. Because they're seeing someone else do it. If they can do it, I can do it. And that is true. So, it was a good experience. This 30-day challenge was good for me. It pushed me to grow. And I love that I just outperformed it too. That's that whole idea of do one more. Like if you have 30-day challenge, get to 30 days, then do 31. Just because you're developing that pattern within yourself of being, you always do one more than you have to do. You always do a little more than what is needed. Going the extra mile, being the type of person that goes the extra mile. That'll take you far. Ed Milet has that book, The Power of One More. And I got the idea. I still need to read the book, but that's the idea. It's like twofold. Like your one decision, your one. I'm pretty sure he talks about it in the book. I've seen a video of him talking about that. Maybe I'm getting the two ideas confused. But like your one decision, one idea, one phone call, one action, one thought away from everything changing. At any moment, you're just one away. You're one video away. It could be it. And then also the power of one more is developing that. And, go get his book, read his book. But from my version of just that idea, which is coming from my lens, is the power of just showing up and doing a little bit more than you have to do is building that momentum of, I don't just do the base minimum of what is the requirements. I choose to perform above average for myself because I want to be the type of person that it gets above average results. If you want average results, then just continue to do what everyone else does and do the average thing. But if you want above average results, then start to program and prove to your subconscious that you act above average. You take above average initiative and actions. So I think I've been working on trying to build that subconscious belief within myself for a couple years now, And I still have more work to do. Absolutely. I have more work to do on that. But I think that did show up, and I am proud of myself about how I didn't really focus on counting the days. And I think that's another great distinction is like, it's one every day, just show up. All you got to do is worry about today. And I shouldn't say that phrase. Don't worry. And I'm glad I catch myself with that. But all you got to do is focus on today, on one step at a time, one day at a time. That's what the challenge was. It was just every day. It was just focusing on that day. I wasn't worried about how many days were left. I wasn't even counting how many I had done or keeping track of it. And that's how I think I'm definitely above 30 days. And I just love that. I love that I have created that tendency within myself that, one, I didn't focus on the days and I just focused on the process. And two, I outperformed the goal. And I'm continuing to outperform it. Like, I just recognized that I was above 30 days, and I still sat down and recorded this video when I've already completed the challenge. So now the next step is, how do I modify and keep this momentum? But this momentum has been put, like, this challenge has been a challenge. It's been, and I've had to neglect other things in order to keep this challenge that I might want to put a little bit more energy into, like making dinner and stuff like that. Like, I've been just eating carne asada burritos all the time from this Mexican shop near my house, or across the street, the carne asada tacos. It's just carne asada burritos and carne asada tacos are like one of my main food groups, or Mexican food. It's just, but it's close and it's easy and it's quick and it's cheap and it's good. But there's other elements about my life. Like, I could exercise more. Like, that's another thing I want to do more. But since I had committed to this challenge, it was like, all right, I know what I'm doing. So now I think I'm going to not keep going every day, but I don't want to lose that momentum. So I'm going to lower the goal or reduce the frequency. I shouldn't say lower the goal, because the goal has been achieved. So I'm going to set a new goal and modify it and include other aspects about my life, and not just focusing on recording the videos. So I'm going to lower the frequency to below every day. Maybe a couple times a week would be cool. And then also factor in maybe exercise is the next thing. Yeah, it probably is. I was doing good with that. When was that? I was like going every day. I did like what did I do? It was like a 12 or 15 day challenge with the gym. Was it 12? I know that's smaller. But yeah, I think I did a 12-day challenge of going to the gym every day. And I should have done a 30-day challenge, honestly. Dude, am I going to do a 30-day challenge going to the gym now? I think did I just do that? I think that's what I need to do. I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna sit with that. But I think that's really the next thing. And then I'm gonna continue with the videos. But it's keeping this momentum, right? Because I've proven that I'm doing what I say I'm going to do. So now I've built a higher level of personal integrity. So now my words that I say to myself mean more to me. They have more weight. And I know that if I really say it, I'm going to do it, because I'm not going to say something I'm not going to do. So that's where I was just like, oh shit. But it's ultimately for my best good. So it's exciting. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll keep you updated. We'll see what happens with that. But I will keep creating videos. Let me know what you think of this process. And if you gain some value from me sharing my experience, please let me know down below if that was valuable to you, what you took away from that, if you think that was worth me recording all this. I enjoyed expressing this. If anything, this was good for me to be able to look back and see my reflections on this. But I tried to express this in a way that it was geared towards giving you and applying it to your life and your consciousness. So I tried to make that shift in how I delivered the message for you, with you in mind. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you being here and investing your time in yourself, in being interested in expanding your awareness with these ideas and having the desire to evolve your frequency over time so that you may live your highest and best timeline. I really do want to help you get there, and it is my intention to help you get there by sharing these valuable insights and ideas. And all it takes is one. Remember that. All it takes is one. You're one away. But you have to apply it, integrate it. So I really had a good time with this one. Yeah. So if you found value, please consider subscribing, like the video. It does help the channel grow, and it is a free way to support the channel. And if you would like to support the channel, that is one way you can do it, and I would appreciate that. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next video, and it was my pleasure to serve you today with this message. See you next time.